Hey, welcome to Out and About with Next Pittsburgh. If you haven't guessed yet, we are at Kennywood, of course, in West Mifflin, and we're here to learn more about the Phantom Fall Fest, which is a new thing they're doing at Kennywood this year. Speaking of which, we've got a question of the week. This week, our question is, what is your favorite Kennywood ride, past or present? Put it in the comments. Let us know what you think, and maybe we'll hear some of your answers later. We've got John behind the camera who can chat with you. All right, we've got Nick Paradise over here. Nick knows everything there is to know about Kennywood, right?
For the purposes of this, I'll say yeah, sure.
What's your position here?
I am a director of communications for Kennywood and its sister parks here in the region.
Okay, and you're going to take us on a bit of a ride today, right? Maybe we should follow you?
Yeah, we're going to take a look at some of Kennywood here in the fall for Phantom Fall Fest. Just got started, and we're going to be here every weekend in October. Just got to watch out for the trees, right?
And so, up until recently, this was Fright Nights, and this year it's Phantom Fall Fest. So, what happened?
Yeah, so, as we had last year off from Halloween events, unfortunately, we kind of gave the opportunity, though, to reset and look at how we've done everything. And, it's been 20 years we've been doing Halloween. Maybe, what's good, what maybe we should improve or change. And one of the big things was that Phantom Fright Nights was, for a specific audience that was older, teens, adults, and not really great for children and families. And that kind of goes against everything Kennywood is the rest of the year, right? In summertime, it's a big family place. And so we wanted to look at how could we maybe change things to make it more appealing to everybody. Yeah. And so we reimagined the event into Phantom Fall Fest, where now on Saturdays and Sundays we're opening at 12 noon with a family-friendly, fun fall experience that still gives all the great rides from Kittyland and Thomastown up to the Phantom's Revenge and the Skyrocket and Racer Jackrabbit, the roller coasters. But then as the day goes on and it starts to get dark,
it gets scary.
It gets scary. That's right. The Phantom Scream team comes out, and it's very much like the Fright Nights experience that people have, really come to love over the last 20 years. So one weekend in the books, and so far so good. It was a great turnout and a great first couple of days, with families, and then transitioning into the more scarier thrill stuff at night.
So what are we coming up to right now? Fear Fest.
So yes, we're walking into one of the scare zones that we have at the park. This one's called Fear Fest. It is themed to clowns, which is obviously a big phobia for a lot of people. And so this is an area that, if you're coming during the day, it's decorated. It's neat to go in and experience and see things. But then as it starts to get darker, starting around 6:30, the clown actors will start to come out, and they'll populate this area along with the other ones in the park. So this is one you can come and go as you please. You can avoid it entirely. You can spend hours in here for the thrills.
And behind us, we've got now the new annual pickup truck parade also.
Yes, I mean, this is the thing that people, when they come when the park's not open, are always surprised. It is a busy place. It's not like, we lock the doors and nobody's around until the park opens again. There's a ton of work that goes on to get it ready. So you do see a lot of vehicles headed through and just getting ready for the weekend, cleaning up from the last couple days, shipping, delivering in food or supplies, whatever it may be, to get ready for the next days of operation.
Well, it's crazy with like 100-plus-year-old theme park. There must be so much to maintain.
Oh, absolutely. There is, and a lot of times for a lot of positions, we might even be busier when we're closed than when we're open, because when we get into like the rides, for example, when we get into being open, it's just maintaining the ride. Things should be running smoothly, and then troubleshooting, if something does need addressed, they fix it, and then they're hopefully good. And it's better if they're not busy, right?
Yeah.
And that often is the case, whereas in the off season they do so much work in working on the rides, preparing them for the next season, and all the safety protocols that we have. So that's a great example of busier when we're closed than when we're open. Certainly there's a lot to do when we're open too, but it's always busy, basically, especially when we now have Halloween and Christmas time, things like that.
Okay, so what do we got here? We've got sort of this dystopian circus thing happening.
Yes, absolutely. So this is normally, and I actually had somebody this weekend, a family came up to me and said, "Where's the George Washington statue?" And that's where we are normally, is the statue of George Washington would be here, talking about kind of the region's history and the French and Indian War that happened very close to where we are here in West Mifflin. But we've moved that statue out and replaced it with this kind of big house, fun house, creepy area of that is one that is always one of the most lively areas to come in and see the clowns during the year. And there's some of these that have special effects that they can do, and even but the actors really make this area, and the makeup team does a phenomenal job, just making them look as grotesque and you can't look away. You might want to, but so many people admire just the theming and the costume and makeup work, because that's a big part of this as well.
And if we were here at night, I mean, there would also presumably be creepy clowns jumping out at us too.
Oh yeah, they'll look for the bushes to hide behind, the boxes. Sometimes you are wondering, is that a prop or is that a real clown? Because some of them can look lifelike, or the actors can do a very good job of staying completely still as they go through, and you've got the music, the funhouse music, but it's kind of twisted, where it's like the Jack in the Box sound, but all of a sudden it slows or it goes in reverse, and so that's a big part of it too. Looking for ways to make people jump. So there's a lot of really neat things, and this is just we have 4 areas in the park similar to this, the scare zones, that it's not something you have to wait in line. You can come and go as you please, and they're populated with actors throughout the night and during the day. It's just one of the examples of the neat theming and decoration that you see throughout the park.
See those cotton candy heads?
Oh yeah, we've got some cotton candy zombie clown heads. I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the neatest things to me is that you think, oh man, and we've even talked about internally, should we like block off this area at certain times, because we don't want, even though it's Halloween, we don't want kids to be creeped out or disturbed by some of the things you see here. But the kids don't seem to care. There's over in this area, there's like a spin the wheel of torture. That's how you're, and the funniest thing, there was kids, yay this tall, that were up at that wheel spinning it and saying, I'm getting scalped and things like that. And but it is something that was cool to see, just that people were getting into this event. So it's offered something for everyone, because if you think your kids aren't ready for that, or you don't want your kids to be ready for that, you can easily go around this area, head to Kittyland and the family, and still do a lot of the family stuff, and get a great value out of the experience too.
Cool. And you said there's also some new snacks this year?
Yeah, one of the things that we try to do that's more than we've ever done in the past for Halloween is to theme our food and drink selections as well. So our culinary team's done a whole new menu.
I'm guessing some pumpkin.
Absolutely. Pumpkin funnel cakes. There's pumpkin ice cream at some different stands. They've got turkey legs that are in now at the Midway stand across from the Jackrabbit.
Going for some Ren Fair vibes with your turkey legs.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I taste tested one. They're really good. They got roasted grilled corn on the cob.
Pumpkin spice potato patch?
Not yet. The potato patch is the one where we're not messing with. The potato patch is still the potato patch. But there are, a lot of other different things. They've got kind of spooky ice cream that's themed and done up in it to add to the vibe. Some cupcakes with little eyeballs on top of them, and caramel apples that are like almost like an apple pie and a candy apple, and a lot of other different offerings. The Parkside Cafe is open for the first time in this event, so there's some specialty full meals if you want like a sit-down experience, and they've got desserts in there as well. So there's a lot of different things to try and sample as you come through the park, and even like pumpkin beers and apple cider and things like that. So it's not just the food but the drinks as well, whether you're looking for the family-friendly drinks, or you want to have a beer or a cocktail to enjoy it during the evening.
And okay, we're gonna go through another spooky part, and I get scared pretty easily, full disclosure. And so I said I'd only do this on condition that Kenny could accompany us.
Yes, so we made that happen for you. Kenny is, and I will, full disclosure, Kenny is not always the bravest either. So you might actually be giving each other support as you go through. But Kenny's over here. He's hanging by the Villa of the Vampire, because he is a vampire here at Halloween, as you can see.
Kenny's doing cosplay.
That's right. So the Villa of the Vampire is one of our indoor haunted houses that we have at Phantom Fright Nights, that you would go through and experience the dark and spooky. So vampires are sleeping, so we're going to stay away from there. But we're going to walk down to the Kennyville Cemetery, which is one of the outdoor haunts. So Kenny will lead the way and help us along here as we go.
And the question of the week is, what is your favorite Kennywood ride, past or present? So what's your answer?
So it's always hard for me to give one answer to this question. I usually say the Jackrabbit is above and beyond the one, because it's just got such history around it. It's still such a fun ride. It's not one that we say we love and enjoy and is popular and is here just because it's old, but because it's just such a good ride. Yeah. So I always go with that one. And for past rides, I will give a shout out to our dearly departed kangaroo itself. So is one of my favorites of the past.
Well, I've got to say I've got a soft spot for Garfield's Nightmare.
Yes, I know you. I know we had quite a time, and you were able to share a great story about that. This is a great one too, and that's actually something new too. This ride, even though it's always kind of one of the spooky rides, the Old Mill, it's never been open for in the fall before. It always was end of the season because it wasn't something that we wanted to do at night for Phantom Fright Nights. But now with the full day event, the Old Mill is open during the Fall Fest portion of the day, and it'll close around 6 o'clock as we transition. It's like that with Thomastown and Kittyland too. They're open to start the day, and then as it gets later and the atmosphere changes, they have a siren that even went off.
Oh, really? That's how you know, okay, kids get out. It's getting scary.
Your warning, right? And the children's areas and children's rides start to close down, and there's still that transition period before the actors start to come out and populate the area before it gets completely dark.
Well, I see the cemetery gates here, so maybe I can come and just loop, sort of pair up with Kenny here, just because it's looking a little spooky over there. Here we go. We have to go around the barricade since.
Yeah, well, this is in place for part of our queue and line control. There's line up back over there, but then we come in through the cemetery, and this is one of the open air haunts that we have. So this one opens around dark when it gets dark, and is one of 5 haunt attractions that we have. So we have this. We have the Shady Grove Hospital, is kind of the creepy hospital that attraction. Dark Shadows is one that plays off the fear of the dark and claustrophobia.
Gosh, that sounds like my nightmare.
Yeah, that one is one that really, it's a very minimalist haunt, right? It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it can be really scary when it's done well, which our team does a great job with.
Have you ever been scared at like Fright Night?
I absolutely have. They have gotten me. Even when even if I'm going through a haunt in uniform, they sometimes know who I am and they try to target me. Or if
they're going for you more than other people.
If they're not trying to scare me, at least some of the actors are trying to ridicule me, and so it's always funny being here at night and interacting with the actors, because they're not all trying to be scary. Yeah. Too is one of the cool things. Some of them are just going for a laugh or a reaction. We had a group here that's doing a Ken Dot, so they're dressed as road workers, and they had traffic cones and a stop sign, and they would just set up at random places throughout the park and then stop people from traveling through for a period. And it was just one of those that's not always scary, but
right.
it
sort of surprising.
It's surprising and adding to just the fun of the event, because they're just made it something else to engage and interact with.
And you've worked at Kennywood for almost 7 years, right?
Yeah. This is my seventh year, I guess only 6th year of Halloween, but 7th season with the park. So it's been a great ride and a cool experience throughout.
Like, what have been some of the most memorable days for you working at Kennywood?
I've been fortunate to have so many. I mean, mind often goes right to like the openings that we've been able to do, the big celebrations. When we opened the Noah's Ark after the big overhaul that it went through a few years ago, that was a really cool thing that we did, and we did the Noah's Ark kind of 2x2 with of 2 of everything that kind of made iconic to Pittsburgh. Obviously opening the steel curtain a few years ago, and even some of the goodbyes. I mean, when the log jammer closed, it was a tough thing, but it's something that's very memorable. And I look back and it's just it's just an honor to be a part of some of those things. So, and just being here and being able to see people enjoying the day at their best and talking to guests is so rewarding often.
Yeah, and you always know what's coming up, and I know you probably can't tell us, but can you just give us a sneak peek of like what might be happening next summer? Anything new coming? Any updates?
I cannot say very much, but I can say that we have a lot of things we're excited about for Kennywood, and things that I think we're going to be really excited to talk about in the not so distant future and share.
When
with
are you going to give us a scoop, Nick? Come on, Kenny, will you tell us? Nothing?
Yeah, how little can I say, and how many words can I use to say nothing? Yeah.
Can we play Hangman, where
right.
you just okay? Is there a bee in it?
Stay tuned is all I can say. We are like I said, we have some big plans, and we're really excited to share with them. It's just not quite yet.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I've got a little lightning round for you, and maybe Kenny too, if you can participate also. Here, do you want to come over with us? Or at least you can just give me emotional support. It's just a thrill to spend some time with Kenny. Let's go into this haunted gazebo, I guess. Okay, so what is the last Kennywood ride you went on?
Oh, last Kennywood ride that I went on. I'm just trying to think what was the last. Was it the Thunderbolt? I cannot remember what the last thing I rode.
Okay, pass on that one. Okay, favorite neighborhood in Pittsburgh?
City neighborhood or suburbs?
Either way.
Well, I'll say Highland Park. I love the park itself, and the houses there are so neat. So it's really cool to go through there.
Have you ever kissed someone on the Old Mill ride?
I have not. The first time that I rode the Old Mill with a girl, it was the first year that it became Garfield's Nightmare, and I think we were both a little surprised and caught off guard that it was not what it used to be.
Kenny, have you ever hugged another kangaroo on the Old Mill ride? No. Okay. Okay. Best coffee in Pittsburgh?
Ooh.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I am a coffee drinker, but I'm primarily a coffee at home drinker. I'll give a shout out to Mechanic Coffee over in Verona, because that's my stomping grounds over there, and that's a great local establishment.
Nice. Favorite snack to get at Kennywood?
Potato Patch, absolutely, far and away. But then if we're talking other snacks, I'll say the Doc Popcorn vendor is, I don't know what they put in the butter, but it always tastes so good, and the smell is just like draws you right to it. And then I'm always a sucker for the dip cone, the chocolate dip square ice cream cone, my favorites.
That's classic. Okay, Kenny, what is your favorite dance move? That's such a good one. Okay, last question. Have you ever barfed on roller coaster?
No, but I have definitely felt my age on some of the rides now as I get older.
Well, Nick, thanks so much for chatting with us today and talking us through Phantom Fall Fest. You can go to Kennywood's website to find more info, and we'll see you next week. I think we'll be at the White Whale Bookstore. Thanks for tuning in.